opening welcome. Welcome back to Agape Image Ministries. My name is Minister Jay Jones, and before I share this testimony, I want to begin with a personal prayer. I pray that God would show my sons, Troy, Ji-medz, and Jamar, something powerful, something undeniable, something that will bring them closer to Him. Because sometimes the greatest sermon isn't the one we preach with words, it's the one God writes through His miracles. And today's message is one of those moments, a living testimony that God still moves, still delivers, and still reigns. Just 3 months ago in northern Nigeria, at a small church called Grace Community Church, pastored by Samuel Adabio, something miraculous took place. It was a quiet morning of worship until the sound of motorcycles broke the peace. In that region, everyone knew what that meant. Militants were coming. Moments later, 31 armed men stormed the church. They shouted, separated the congregation, and dragged 35 men outside. The women and children were forced to watch through the windows. One of the attackers yelled, "Deny Jesus and live, or keep your faith and die." The air was thick with fear, but Pastor Samuel stood tall and declared, "We will not deny our Savior, we choose Jesus." And every man, one by one, followed him. We choose Jesus. Then heaven answered. The skies darkened, thunder rolled, winds howled, and out of nowhere, rain began to pour. It wasn't just rain, it was a storm. Lightning cracked across the sky, and hailstones the size of fists began to fall. The gunmen stumbled and screamed, "Their God is doing this." They dropped their weapons and fled in terror. And in that storm, the ropes binding the believers' hands came loose. Every single one of the 35 men was set free. They ran back into the church, crying and praising God. Not one was harmed. And the miracle didn't stop there. Meteorologists later confirmed that there was no forecasted rain that day. The storm appeared only over that small village and vanished minutes later. That wasn't weather. That was God's deliverance. Hebrews 13, verse 8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God who parted the Red Sea for Moses, who shut the mouths of lions for Daniel, and who stood with the 3 Hebrew boys in the fire, is the same God who sent that storm in Nigeria. He has not changed. He still rescues. He still reigns. That day changed everything. One of the attackers, a young man named Ibrahim, returned days later. Trembling, he said, "Your God is real. I saw his power." Pastor Samuel didn't reject him. He embraced him. He shared the love of Jesus, and that same young man gave his life to Christ. Today, Ibrahim serves faithfully in the same church he once came to destroy. Grace Community Church now has over 400 members, and every year they celebrate Storm Sunday, a day to remember what God did. Even Muslim leaders in the area admitted the Christian God showed his power that day. Beloved, hear me. Faith doesn't mean you'll never face fear. Faith means you trust God despite the fear. When it seems like your enemies surround you, when your back is against the wall, when your situation looks hopeless, that's when God steps in and says, "Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." The same God who sent the storm to rescue his people can send peace into your chaos, healing into your pain, and deliverance into your life. Call to faith. If God can send a storm to protect 35 believers, He can move in your situation right now. He can rain down healing. He can rain down forgiveness. He can rain down restoration. He can rain down miracles. All He asks is this: will you choose Jesus? Say it out loud with me: I choose Jesus. No matter what comes, no matter what the enemy threatens, choose Jesus. Before we go, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Illustrated Prayer for their incredible heart in sharing stories and images that inspire faith around the world. Your work reminds believers everywhere that God's hand is still active and powerful. Thank you for helping keep prayer alive through illustration and inspiration. If this message touched your spirit, like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Agape Image Ministries, where faith meets truth, and testimonies remind us that God still reigns. Until next time, stay in faith, stay in prayer, and remember, the same God who sent the storm still reigns today.